Once in a faraway land, there lived a young farmer named Kale with his father Jack and their loyal dog Bruno. They were poor but happy. Their small house was made of clay and straw, with a roof that leaked when it rained hard. They lived from a few chickens, 2 goats, and a small cornfield that barely fed them through the year. Still, their hearts were rich. Every evening, father and son prayed together under the old neem tree. Jack always placed his rough, hard-working hand on Kale's head and said, "Son, the life of a poor man is not easy, but if you work hard and trust in God, He will open your path. Never trade your faith for gold, because gold runs out, but faith carries you through the storm." Kale believed his father's words deeply. He memorized them like a prayer. He dreamed of one day having good land to help other poor families, to feed the hungry, and to never forget God who sees the tears of the poor. Bruno, their dog, was more than a pet. He was family. He guarded the chickens from foxes, walked with them to the market every Friday, and slept near the doorway every night like a silent watchman. When Kale laughed, Bruno's tail wagged. When Jack coughed, Bruno sat close to his feet. Life was simple, peaceful, and full of love. They had little, but they had each other. But one day, the peace broke. Jack became sick. At first, it was just a cough. Then his hands shook, his voice weakened, and soon he could not stand in the field. Kale carried him home on his back while Bruno walked beside them, worried and silent, his head low. The village doctor came once, gave some herbs, and shook his head. "Only prayer now," he said. Kale prayed every night for his father's health, crying into his pillow so Jack would not hear. But Jack grew weaker with each sunrise. Before his final breath, Jack held his son's hand. His grip was weak, but his eyes were strong. He whispered, "My son, don't lose your faith. When a man loses everything, but keeps his faith, he still has everything. Promise me you will remember." Kale nodded, tears falling on their joined hands. "I promise, Baba." That night, Jack left the world as quietly as he had lived. After his father passed away, Kale buried him under the big tree near their house where they used to rest together after working in the sun. He made the grave with his own hands. Bruno stayed by the grave for 3 days, crying softly, refusing to eat. The silence in the house became heavier than the poverty. Then, tragedy struck again. One dry summer night, a fire started in the cornfield. The wind carried it fast. It destroyed their small farm, burned the clay house, and took the chickens and goats. Everything turned to black ash. Kale fell to his knees in the smoke and cried, "Why, God? Why do you take everything from me? My father, my home, my work. What is left?" But when Bruno came through the ash and licked his burned hands, Kale understood that he was not completely alone. A wet nose and a warm heart were still with him. Only he and his dog remained. So Kale decided to leave his burned home. He stood before his father's grave, placed a small stone on it, and said, "Baba, I will return one day. I will rebuild this place for you." With a small bag, a stick, and Bruno at his side, he walked away from the only land he had ever known. Days passed. They slept under trees, drank from rivers, and shared small pieces of dry bread that Kale earned by carrying loads in villages. Bruno caught a rabbit once, and they ate like kings that night. One evening, they reached a small village at the edge of a forest. But no one wanted to help the poor stranger. Doors closed. People whispered. Hungry and tired, Kale found an old abandoned house on the edge of town, its windows broken and its door hanging loose. He decided to rest there. That night, under a torn roof, he prayed, "Thank you, Lord, because even when I have nothing, I still have life and my faithful friend. If this is my test, I accept it." The next day, he found work with a kind man named Pedro, who gave him food and paid him 2 coins for helping on his farm. When villagers asked where he lived, Kale said, "In the old house near the woods." The villagers stepped back with surprise. "That house is cursed," one woman said. "They say a spirit guards a hidden treasure there." Many greedy men went in. None came out rich. Kale smiled sadly and answered, I don't need treasure. I only want peace and a roof until God shows me the next step. That night, something strange happened. The air grew cold, though it was summer. Bruno's hair stood up, and he began to growl at the dark corner of the house. A shadow rose from the floor, taller than a man, a spirit, its eyes like dim lamps. The spirit spoke, and its voice was like wind in a well. Young man, why are you here? Do you seek my treasure like the others who died of greed? Kale trembled, but he stood up. He held Bruno close and said honestly, No, sir. I lost my father, my home, and all I had. I only seek a place to rest. I want nothing more. If your treasure is here, it is not mine to take. The spirit became calm. The cold left the air. You are different. Others came with knives and empty bags. They saw gold in their eyes before they saw me. But you came with faith and a pure heart. You passed my test. The treasure you seek is not gold. It is the blessing of God. And because you did not ask, I will give. Then the spirit disappeared like smoke, and in the place where it stood, a small wooden chest appeared. Inside were old gold coins, silver jewelry, and a note. For the one who keeps faith when the night is darkest. Kale fell to his knees and whispered, Thank you, Lord. You never left me. You were walking with me even when I thought I was alone. He used the treasure with wisdom. He rebuilt his father's house, stronger with brick this time. He bought land and gave work to poor families. He built a small well so no one would thirst. He started a free kitchen every Friday in Jack's name. And Bruno, now old and gray, always sat by his side, wearing a new collar with a small bell. From that day on, the villagers said that God rewards the humble, and that true treasure comes to those who never lose their faith. They told their children, Be like Kale. When you lose everything, hold to God. He turns ashes into gardens.